how are you? How's everything? Are you drinking your smoothies?
I'm still on the smoothies.
Yeah?
What did you say? How many? Did you give it a week or you gave
I gave it
10?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Well, yeah, still on the smoothies. I don't think I'm ever going to come off them.
That's a lot of fruit to get in.
It's gone from 0 to, well, a banana. It's not insane, is it?
Is it just the banana?
No, we're getting some strawberries in there.
So it's banana and strawberries.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
So during the week, what are you getting in?
5 banana. If I let's say, well,
Okay,
probably
5 bananas
6.
is fine.
I reckon I have them 6 out of 7. You know,
Yeah.
you got to have one rest day. 6 bananas, 2 packs of strawberries.
Yeah. And then on Sunday you rest.
Sunday is Saturday. I reckon I'll rest.
Saturday's your day
Sunday
off.
seems like an appropriate smoothie day.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Did you look up? Can you have too many bananas?
Are you referencing
No.
something?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll say an embarrassing story then. Over lockdown, I decided to start doing some working out for the first time
Oh yeah.
in several years.
Yeah.
And
Didn't
then
you
I
cut all your weights up?
cut my weights up.
Didn't you carry your weights up to London?
Yeah, yes, I did. But no, it wasn't that. I was doing it properly and had like this routine
Oh, yeah.
that I
I do remember this.
found online, and just, starting to build up a bit. I'm very skinny, so it's
Muscle
quite easy
tone,
to build up
yeah.
some muscle. It wasn't that much at all, and I remember at one point looking in the mirror and being like, "Don't get too big, don't get too big," and that was kind of the extent of it. I was never.
Because you don't want to be a big.
Yeah,
well,
but
I don't know.
Yeah, because there was never any chance of me getting too big.
Yeah. Well, it's funnier if we're morbidly obese than if we're jacked.
If we're jacked, it loses a lot of its charm.
What if we're
Everything.
like ginormous?
Yeah.
I think there's a level of jacked that's quite funny.
Well, if it's bodybuilder jacked, when they whack on that bronzer and go and flex on the stage, that
Yeah.
level of jacked.
But I think having that type of body,
They do look like they're smeared in poo a bit. Do you know what I mean? Or it looks like that, or the thing you get on that they put on your skin before you have an operation.
yeah, like a smear,
yeah.
like a.
Have you ever had an operation?
I think so.
Something you'd probably remember.
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah,
But
I think so.
I
It's
can
a weird-
imagine. I can imagine it.
It's like that, a weird orangey brown colour. But
What was this? Was this for your cyst removals? One of your many?
yes, don't appreciate the tone of that, but yes.
How many cyst removals?
1, 2. Well, one. Okay, two
One,
two
two.
in one operation. When I went under general because I was too young, and then 1, 2. So I think we're on 4 or 5.
You weren't supporting the local anaesthetic scene.
What? Okay, no, yeah. I did I supported the local anaesthetic scene on the subsequent operations. But on the first one, I hadn't quite seen the merits of it.
So you were just kind of going.
I went
off the
generally,
charts. You got to go local.
You got to go local.
When you're anaesthetic, you got to go local, go organic.
But with the orangey brown thing,
Yeah.
I think I'm coming to the terms that I may be in some way, not drastically or severely, or even noticeceably, but I think I'm colourblind.
Do you? I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
I think you have been for many, many years.
There was a moment on Saturday where me and 7 other people were talking about my trousers, and then
What was it? Were they in a semicircle around you?
no, so I was in the middle of a circle. I can't tell you how we got to that stage. I was showing off
7 other
my
people.
big fat trousers.
There's a big conversation about your trousers.
Yeah. No, I can't remember why they came up,
Yeah.
but they came up.
People
and
are gathered.
People had gathered to discuss my trousers,
Far
and so
wide.
my pantaloons. But they went.
3 wise men came.
They and then someone was like, "Well, yeah, because they described it as brown," and I went, they're not brown. They're dark. They're like black or dark blue." And then every single other person in that circle disagreed with me,
Yeah,
and
I
it was the
think-
first time I've had conclusive proof that I'm like, oh.
You're 100% colourblind. I'm sure about
I
it.
would like to. I'd almost want to. I always
What's
want to
that?
go.
What colour's that?
Well, that's red.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
No,
insane.
it's yellow.
Well, it's made me. It might be just brown stuff.
Well, it's red and greens normally.
Yeah, I know,
I
but
mean,
it's
obviously
not.
that's way too red.
My sister's red and
Because
green.
that probably looks much browner to you than it does to me.
No, it's pretty bright red,
Yeah.
but it's got a husk to it. It's an old shirt.
Yeah.
It's my oldest shirt, actually. Thanks for asking.
Is it your oldest shirt?
Yeah, why have you never asked me what's my oldest shirt?
I don't know where my oldest shirt. I've kept some shirts that I haven't been put on. I've got my pulling shirt that I still put on occasionally.
Which one's that?
You know, the like slightly silky one.
Ugh.
You know the one?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, kind of.
But I'm not going out pulling anymore, so now it's more of a nostalgia shirt. It's sort of like a vintage football kit now.
So kind of when you're older,
It's
you're
more like everyone's like, oh my god, that's like the iconic
yeah.
Napoli kit from the 80s.
Yeah, everyone
when
everyone
they see me
around
with my
Warwick
pulling
remembers
shirt
that.
on.
Good lord. I kind of remember it. Was it very loose fitting?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, everything I wear is pretty loose fitting.
Yeah, but I
don't wear as many tight shirts.
No, we can't pull off tight shirts. Nor do I want to. But it might be nice to have the option.
Yeah,
like a New York deli man. You know what I mean? Tight white shirt. No, like a t-shirt.
Yeah, well, that's coming in a bit.
Yeah.
Which is, I was speaking with Paddy actually recently, and he was looking for the Johnny Knoxville t-shirt, like fit.
Is it the really high up
sleeves? He can wear a t-shirt, Johnny Knoxville.
He can, yeah.
He can rock a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And
I haven't noticed.
He's quite like he really creates a great argument for tight-fitting clothing on tall men, I feel.
Do you?
Because I think but I bet he shags a lot. I think there's something comes from the confidence, the sexual confidence of tightness. I think implies shagging.
I don't know. I think it can go both ways.
What, the loose fit shagger?
Yeah, I don't actually think it has any correlation whatsoever. You can see pretty mad nerds.
Tight.
Tight. Well, often when you see documentary obese people, they're often, it's hard for them to find a shirt that will actually fit. But you often see overweight people wearing really tight shirts.
That doesn't count.
Why not?
They're not tight fit.
You never think obese people count, do you?
I do think they count. I'm just saying it's not tight because of the fit.
Right. Well,
if I wore it,
it would be
loose.
Their shirts. You're not wrong.
And I'm Greenwich Mean Time when it comes to tightness of shirts.
Are you?
Everyone goes off me. That's how you know if something's tight or loose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But you can have the nerd, for want of a better word. Someone who might not be, might not be using sexuality. You see them in the park with like a bucket. Bucket hat's the wrong example.
So you've seen these nerds in the park?
Yeah, they've got like tight t-shirts on and those kinds of jeans with those trainers.
Are they?
Yeah.
I think that the kind of the shagless look is the sort of like everything is sort of a sigh.
I'm not saying it's an archetypal shagless look.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I've seen shagless looking individuals
with
tight t-shirts. I don't think
maybe
it's the main
exception
barometer.
proves the rule though.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But yeah, I think tight t-shirts could be.
They could
I
be
just need a tiny bit more muscle to pull. I think you just need a little bit more. But I think a nice, like the guy in the bear, his t-shirts. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. Wait, who I'm talking about?
Yeah, with the New York deli sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
Talking about that guy.
Yeah. Well, the sleeves are coming a bit higher up because it was very much you want to hit the start of the forearm almost a while ago, and it's definitely gone up a couple of inches.
Where do you think?
Which is a scary place for us because we haven't got the biceps for it.
And I feel trousers are gonna soon reach peak fatness, right? Because fat jeans are in, but
the trousers I was wearing, the blue or brown or whatever, them were pretty fucking fat.
And these are pretty fat. I'm wearing right now.
They're not that fat at all.
You don't think these are fat?
Those aren't fat. They're not that fat.
That's pretty fat.
That's like mine. They're not fat.
Yeah, these are both pretty fat.
Yeah, but that's not even that fat anymore. That's genuinely their standard.
Yeah.
You can't really be getting away with anything skinnier than that unless it's on like a special pair of pants,
but
like
I think
a corduroy or a check pair of pants.
Yeah.
I think
parachute pants.
Well, those are the things that are coming in.
Yeah.
I wore parachute pants.
Well, are parachute pants actually a thing?
Yeah.
What are they? I was joking.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, parachute. The parachute pants is what I wore when I went as one of the guys from NSYNC for Halloween.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was thinking more the pants so big that in some of your emergency pockets, you can pull a zip cord and a parachute would come out.
Well, I think that's probably where the branding initially came from.
That's probably from parachute pants.
Yeah.
Prepared for anything. Well, if someone chucked you out a plane, then you'd have in your back pocket a literal parachute.
Well, because a lot of our kind of desires about trousers tend to be for personal survival, like the cargo pants or cargo shorts or quarter zips and parachutes.
But fashion at the moment is sort of appropriating survival. It's aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's like it's sexy, the idea of needing to survive.
It kind of is. Like you come up with these bold statements and I often don't see them that much out on them.
True.
out on the street, I don't really see any relevance of people looking like survival chic.
But was that?
No, I'm disagreeing.
Oh, sorry. I thought it sounded like you were going to say I normally think that, and then I
No.
go outside and I see.
No.
I think there's been a lot of appropriation of survival culture, and I think.
Do you think it needs to stop?
I don't know. I do think there's an urge to kind of like just the vibe of trying to survive is definitely in. But I think
With
we've
what,
reached,
like cargo pants?
yeah,
What else?
gilet, hiking wear. I tell you what might come back to next is surf wear,
Do you think?
because surf it's kind of the cycle's coming round.
What, like Hawaiian shirts? Because those won't
No.
be back for a while.
Hawaiian shirts will be dead for a while, but I'm saying more like Quicksilver Billabong.
Oh, well,
You know.
that's like surfer dad chic.
Yeah, and that was the least cool thing maybe
Yeah.
2-3 years ago.
It's what
And I
middle
can
class
see it
dads
coming
wear to their son's sport games.
now, but that's gonna
Weird fish.
That's weird fish. I think
That
weird
kind of
I've seen
fleece.
weird fish coming back in
Yeah,
as
yeah.
fleece. I've seen but I'm saying more whenever you go to a surfer town, Torquay, Rock, Plymouth.
Yeah. That's enough.
Well, okay, so there's an energy to that where it's like this is a town that surfs, so a lot of the coffee shops and the clothes shops will have like surf energy.
Yeah.
You've been inside a surf shop, haven't you? Where it's like,
Really?
have you not been inside a surf shop like a Quicksilver?
I've definitely been
Have you been
inside
inside a Quicksilver
yeah.
in a surf town?
There's a... Yeah, I've definitely been inside a Billabong.
You've been inside a Billabong. Yeah.
Everyone's been inside a Billabong, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've been inside a Billabong in Plymouth.
Okay.
I don't think I've been... I haven't 'Cause I think really
that
frequented
specific-
surf towns.
Yeah, I think maybe that specific vibe I think is going to get appropriated as well, and then all the like walls of the shop will have like a sandy blonde-haired guy kind of like on a wave, and it's just
yeah.
like and scribbles everywhere. They love scribbles.
They do love scribbles, actually.
I remember a shirt that I used to think was so fucking cool when I was like maybe 12, 13, was this like Billabong shirt, which was like a normal shirt, like maybe like slightly faded white with like pinstripes, like all black little faded black lines.
Yeah.
And then on it was just like scribbled Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Just all over it.
Well, it shows you don't really play by anyone's rules.
No, exactly, because it's like, what I liked about it was like taking a suit, a normal shirt,
and
squares,
just
and being
bring
like,
some chaos to it.
Quicksilver, Billabong.
Yeah, that scribbly aesthetic was definitely a thing.
Yeah, and then you could wear that with. That's when fat jeans were back before they went away,
Yeah.
and then you wear that with a big silver chain.
Yes, the chains.
Yeah,
Well, because the big jeans are coming back, and it is with very tight t-shirts. What I've seen a lot
Yes.
of the kind of 19-year-old super cool fly kids do
yeah,
is massive fat jeans, some chunky trainers, and like almost a vest
Yes.
type thing going on with the chains. Chains are
Yeah,
coming back
yeah.
in, and
but it's either tight. If you have a tight shirt, the fashion rule is that you should
do one or the other.
do one or the
Otherwise,
other.
you end up looking like a duvet.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I'm double. I'm always
You're double?
I'm always double.
Do you?
I always loose trousers, loose shirt, always.
Yeah, I guess so. But it doesn't have to be too tight to be tight.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean?
but you don't want to look like a duvet.
You don't want to look like a duvet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people will start napping in you. I've been there. It's not fun.
But yeah, I think we've reached peak fatness of jeans, and I do think it's gonna come back.
What?
I just think that we've reached velocity, like terminal velocity, when it comes to the fatness.
So
of
it's
the
not
jean.
going to get fatter.
I think we've reached it. Or do you think it has more to go?
It's got more to go.
Do you think it's got more to go?
Absolutely got more to go. Because you think those are fat,
Yeah.
and that's fundamentally wrong.
No, but I know there's fatter out there. I'm
No,
not
but the
saying these
majority
are the
is
fattest
fatter
jeans.
out there now. You're on the skinny side of the jeans.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. That means
Yeah.
it can't get much fatter than that.
Yeah. Well, because I bought
It can't
a
get
pair.
much fatter.
Well, it can though. It always can.
Yeah,
You'll be
it can always
surprised.
be fatter,
You
I
will
guess.
be surprised by how fat jeans can get, or any trousers. But I bought a pair of those,
Yeah.
and then I put them on, and I've been very hesitant to wear them.
What,
it's
the really fat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. Well, I get really fat. It is fat. It's a lot fatter than that. It's a lot fatter
Yeah.
than that. But fatter than that. But it's one of those things when there's a new kind of fashion wave going. I know it comes in kind of slow things, but when I put them on, I just felt like I looked a bit 70s because they almost look like flares in some ways because they're so big.
But flares
and it
start
takes you a while
tight
to get
and end up fat. But these
no, exactly,
ones
yeah,
are fat
But
throughout.
that's because with these ones, I usually wear. Previously, I've been wearing my trousers fairly high up, around the waist. Whereas with these
Simon
proper
Cowell.
fat ones, you've kind of got to go back to the
drawing board.
drawing board. No, back to like wearing them around your bum rather than your waist, kind of thing.
Well, I think I can see.
It's like a skater aesthetic.
Yeah, I can see that prison because there's the prison thing.
Yeah, which is
the bum rape.
Was that
thing.
true?
I don't know.
It sounds like a lie.
Yeah, but then it also
What
makes
was
sense.
it?
It was so because I don't even think some of the listeners of this podcast will remember just the stranglehold that
Showing your pants.
showing your pants, which in many ways is quite a bold. I remember it was cool, but
Why?
it was so impractical.
Yeah, I remember
And
my
it was
mum being furious at me.
Because you kind of had to do it because it was how cool you were,
Halfway around your bum.
and you had to constantly pulling them up.
Yeah.
That's what was. But then what fashion back then? You not only had to constantly pull in, and also wearing big boxer shorts.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You know, not even tight panties.
Yeah. They need to be kind of bubbling over the top.
Yeah,
of the trouser.
exactly. Like,
It's like a souffle.
Yeah. Not only that, but it was at the time when hair was. So
It wasn't a good time.
No, but it's the maintenance. That
Yeah.
was you're pulling your trousers up and you're doing that. This is
Yeah.
like, you know what I
Flicking
mean?
and-
It was like there was so much.
There was
consistent.
so much, and I've got really like straight hair.
Yeah.
That doesn't have any. If I don't do anything
Yeah.
to it and it's long enough, it will just fall directly over my face, like
Yeah.
all the way around. So I was constantly because
Always.
it wouldn't stay. It would never stay there.
And people develop almost anxious tics where like where they felt safe was.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of people who they're kind of like. Just if they're ever thinking about something, everyone's like
Doing
developing
that.
a sort of Tourette's. I think even
true.
if they're bald, they'll be going like,
Yeah. It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
Because that's also something that people don't talk about with baldness is that they only really, if you go bald at like, I don't know, 23, you don't really get many chances to do fun hairstyles.
what do you
You've
mean?
only really had one ever. So you've had hair once, right?
Yeah.
For one period of fashion. So then you'll look back on photos, and if you were bald,
And you'll be like, I never had the chance to have a perm.
exactly,
A
a mullet,
Yeah.
a Mohican. There's
Yeah.
many options out there, but they'll look back. They'll show their grandkids photos of when the mop hairstyle was in, and his life
Was just that.
was either mop hairstyle or bald. There was nothing else
Who was that guy who went bald at 18? Do you remember him?
from our school.
Yeah. Do you remember that guy?
Giles
Giles.
Orchard. Yeah. We maybe shouldn't mention it. Yeah.
Because I never forgot him.
No, I'll never forget.
I'll never forget.
Yeah, very bald man.
Because I remember him having quite a frank conversation with us at a house party when we were.
Didn't he?
It was at Patrick Smart's house.
Really?
When
Yeah.
we were 12, 13.
I'd imagine he'd hate you though.
We didn't have a proper conversation with him.
Right.
He was just very open about his baldness.
Well, with me as well.
We were both there, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. It was over the kitchen counter, and then he was just talking like, yeah, I'm receiving my hair.
Because
I'm
I
like,
bet
so-
we brought that up because
I
we've
was-
been fascinated about balding. This is when we were 14, I think.
Yeah. And and he was just saying like, you know, I'm going to shave it off.
Yeah. Which is the only way to do it.
It's the only way. Finn has 4 builders in redoing his kitchen, and they're all different. They're all brothers, and apparently
Yeah.
they've all got hair transplants. But they're all at different stages. They did like a relay.
Yeah.
So they all look the same, but each of them has their kind of hairs at a different stage.
Just like a process photo.
So you get to see what the hair
evolution.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah. I wonder if they can AI hair. I wonder if that, because there's a lot of these technologies with AI coming in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people talking about the negative sides, and there's going to be loads, but I think we need to start focusing a lot on
Hair.
Well, it's just like the stuff that's going to be amazing. Like there is with social media, there's going to be some really good stuff that you can never do before.
Yeah.
And
So
it'd be-
you're saying instead of focusing on the issues
Well,
around
no,
art,
we're going to focus on that
creativity,
anyway.
license, we should focus on hair transplants.
Yeah.
The AI's potential. What is AI's potential for a hair transplant?
I don't know, but if they could,
I think you're thinking of a 3D printer.
what 3D print your hair?
Yeah. Well, that's got more potential than AI.
Yeah, I guess so.
What would you type in? Well, maybe on AI you could say you can post a picture of you and say what's the best hairstyle for me.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then not that cool.
They're going to give me.
What-
they're gonna
when
show
you said
David
what you
Beckham
just said.
2003.
Yeah.
100%.
Which
As good as hair gets.
what you just said What did you mean when you said we need to think about AI's potential for hair transplants?
What I meant, well, maybe I don't want to dwell on the hair transplant part of that sentence.
You want
I
to
think there's a
dwell on
lot
the
more.
other.
I want to dwell on the other part, which is the positives. Like, I'm now using a auto caption app for clips, and it didn't used to be good, but then it's now using like AI, and now it's really good. And that was the first time I was like, oh, great, AI is now working for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I want more of those. I want to start talking about things like that. The Drake's, have you heard that AI Drake song?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, so they made a Drake and Weeknd song, and it does, I mean, I'm not a huge Drake guy.
Yeah.
Are you a big Drake man?
No.
But he's like, do you know he's like the biggest?
Yeah.
He's the biggest guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I guess he is good, but he's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess
who did you think was the biggest one?
Ed Sheeran?
Good.
No, I don't know. I guess he is the biggest one.
Yeah,
But even people with music taste I respect really like Drake.
Yeah.
This
isn't news to anyone.
What, that he's the biggest guy?
Yeah.
No.
He's not my cup of tea. Some of them are.
But yes, no, they made a fake Drake song, and it sounds like nearly all his music to me, pretty much.
Which isn't great.
And that's when it's like, but it's more like, so it's over. Like the game's over. Do you know what I mean?
What, as in creativity?
Well, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well,
there's already a lawsuit about it, isn't there? So it's already
you shouldn't be able to be doing that.
Oh, of course you can't.
But then I guess you need to still create new stuff.
But the problem is when record labels use AI to create new artists that they own. You know, you've seen like virtual influencers. You can just have kind of virtual musicians that don't really exist, and then they can just put out music.
I don't think that will work.
Having to pay the artist. Well, it depends what people's appetite is for digesting music or any kind of art that's actually created by a person, or whether just because it's good.
I'll tell you what AI will be really big at music will be like lo-fi beats to study and chill to. Like YouTube, massive YouTube playlist.
SoundCloud producers.
I would happily put on AI music if it was background. Like if it was like perfect kind of music just to like.
Yeah. I don't really do background music, but.
What do you do? Just
whatever music I'm listening to.
Or like you're just something that's consistent, no lyrics.
Yeah. I agree. Lo-fi beats.
I'd trust AI. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind AI having a crack at some new classical tunes.
That's fair, because no one's really doing it.
No one's popping. So why not? You know, just like AI. Have a crack at Mozart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've got. It feels like that all the big classical hits. People might be thinking, "Oh, I'm not into classical music. I'm into Drake." You know,
as everyone is. AIs.
Yeah, but no, it's more like people think they're not into classical music, but then we all know like 30 bangers because they're in every film. Vivaldi, the Mozart ones. You've heard them. I would love to. No, if I played 30 tunes, I'd be like, you know that one? You'd be like, yeah, I have heard that.
Right, knowledge of them rather than.
No, not the names, but you'll be like, oh, I've heard that because they're in films everywhere and they're done to death.
Well, there's a new appetite for it. The Succession theme tune is getting playtime. There's been like remixes of it and stuff.
So I just wonder, I wouldn't mind having a couple more of those because it's almost in films I'm seeing that same song being played. The last like classical music banger was the one that's played at the end of Arrival. The like almost
that's in everything.
The ridiculously sad one.
Do it.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know.
It's like strings and it's really sad.
Give me a bit.
Let's
give it a shot.
It's like it's like holding a note and then it gets even sadder. Do you know
try it again?
Do you know it at all? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a hard one to recreate. Yeah. You're so far away again, but it's a very hard one to recreate by yourself.
Do you want to go? And then there was Time from Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
But a couple more of those.
Succession.
I guess so. Yeah.
Why are you hesitant about that one?
I guess a theme tune for me doesn't, because these are pieces that got used in lots of other things.
Yeah.
Succession is a theme song. You know, and it's all anyone that uses Succession, it's novelty. You know, there's remixes, but that's almost
Is it
ironic.
novelty?
It is novelty, yeah. But I'm talking about bangers that are become synonymous, which sort of just fade into, because that song wasn't even written for
So
revival.
like a score rather than a.
Well, it's more like Beethoven's Fifth or like Vivaldi the Four Seasons. You hear it everywhere. If we could get a couple more of those on rotation,
right,
that would be nice.
I
That's
agree.
when AI would be great.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice to see if they could do it.
But could they? But I was pretty confident that we would be some of the last people to go with AI. Comedians, podcasters. But seeing that Drake tune, I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like, could they do Boys Gone Wild sketches?
Probs better.
If they could just probably just bash those out.
Yeah. There won't be enough appetite for it though. So it'll be okay. No, I still think comedy is a lot harder.
It is harder.
In terms of...
Because I haven't seen anyone crack it.
For AI to do it. Because it's like music, it follows quite a few specific rules. And although comedy does, it also doesn't. Well, I'm sure it will get to the point where they will be able to do it. But I think it's a bit more intangible. So I follow the snooker fairly sporadically. I'm not a tour guy, but I'm a big event, so I'll join the team. We'll have some fun with it. The World Championships, and the World Championships are going on, which is probably the biggest tournament. You know, some people might disagree, but they'd be probably wrong. That's going on, and I find I watch a lot of boring sport.
Yeah.
And I seem to always miss the good bits. Always miss the good bits. There's been times where I've been watching F1 races where there's nothing really fucking happening, and then I'll go and get a water or something and come back, and then the moment I've been waiting for has happened. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
And the reason to watch boring sports events is because when the great things happen, it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's kind of this, the difference in it. Maybe an expectation thing as well. But nothing this crazy has happened in snooker ever. There was a protest, for those of you that missed it, at the Crucible in Sheffield for the World Championships, where two people, they play with two separate tables, and there's two matches going on at the same time, and two people jumped down from the crowd.
Oh, it's two of them?
Yeah, so each.
Did you watch it live?
No, I missed it. I was out and I was furious.
Brutal.
To each separate table. One guy sat on it and let out this kind of orangey thing. Can't confirm if it was orange.
Yeah, it was orange.
Okay, great. Orange thing, a packet that kind of destroyed the table. And then another lady attempted to glue her hand to the table, but never made it. She didn't even really get close to gluing.
Was he not trying to glue it, the orange puffy guy?
No, he sat and did the orange thing.
So he got his out, and then
Their game plan was orange and glue.
Okay.
One of you glue your hand, the other orange it.
Okay, so because he was just dragged away, but he'd already oranged the table.
Yeah, he was in hindsight, they should have let her go a bit. He got down first.
Yeah.
Orange Man got down first. They should have let Glue Girl go a bit quicker because glue takes a bit of time to dry. So once Orange Man had come on the table, once Orange Man had released his orange powder onto the table and sat there, security were already kind of on it.
And then he was dragged off.
He was dragged off pretty sharply. And then you just see this lady try and put her hand on the table. I don't think she even gets to touch the table. And that's optimistic.
Well, she just gets dragged immediately.
Yeah.
Before she can... Did she try a couple of these?
Yeah, she's clambering for the table. But I'm again, it's futile because glue takes a bit to dry.
Yeah. Well...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, you've got to keep it firm for a little bit. Maybe not ages, but I'm thinking 10, 15 seconds.
Was she trying it on the green?
No, I think it was on the side.
Okay, yeah.
What, cut her off?
You could just cut the fabric underneath.
Yeah, but then you've destroyed the table. Which the whole point, I think the point...
the planet.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we'll get to that. But there was... I get the point of it was to disrupt the two games. The glue lady didn't manage to disrupt the game. The orange man did because they obviously couldn't play on the orange table. It was probably a naive question to ask because the answer is always this with protests nowadays. But I was out and I was like, who's protesting the snooker?
Yeah.
Because there was just protests.
There's not really many eyes on it either.
No, there's not.
I guess that's how you can sneak in though.
Yeah, I guess so. But they've tried to do Premier League matches and stuff like that, but it's, how you're getting down there. But there was... What was it? No, sorry. Yes, so there was... There was a protest at the Grand National recently.
That's a good place to do
as
it,
well,
'cause
which
of
is fair
suffragettes.
because it is, but it was for actually the treatment of horses, because horses die every year at the Grand National. It's not great.
And racing in general, or is it the Grand National?
The Grand National's worse for it. It's like
What are they dying for?
just like exhaustion, and the jumps are big, and there's like people.
So
fall
smaller
every
jumps,
year.
less races.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
So
I don't think that generally
next.
the treatment of horses in horse riding
Next
races,
question.
Jesus, is particularly good. But so I was like, who the heck is protesting the snooker? Also, is there anything unethical about the snooker? It's Just Stop Oil. Which I think they've now taken it home to me, because
Yes.
I don't drive, but I watch the snooker.
So did it disrupt your...
No, because I was out. And I haven't actually watched that much of this World Championship.
So you still can't know.
Yet again, they haven't won.
If you were a Just Stop Oily person, what would your approach of what would you glue yourself to?
Moving cars.
I don't know if that would make much of a statement.
Yes, it would.
Well, because I don't think that they'd probably kill you.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't get any blame for it.
Exactly.
I guess you'd traumatise them.
Who's the real culprit?
Yeah.
The motor industry.
I would. This is really hard to pull off, admittedly. And it almost need a Mission Impossible-esque style film heist team assembled. Ideally, I'd get my hand with glue, and I don't know how I'd fully do it, but during one of Putin's addresses, just on his bald fucking...
Oh, in his head,
Yeah, and just have that.
I'm not sure you'd last long.
What?
You'd be killed pretty quickly.
Hand still...
But hand's still there.
Do you know what I mean? I'm
And
dead.
he's got to be like putting adhesive on it or
You know,
whatever it
and
is.
are they going
Solvent.
to torture me? Well, he would have a couple of fucking gut punches. I'm sure he would.
Of course.
He'd go to town. But that's not a good look.
I'd glue...
Because I'm much taller than Putin as well.
Yeah.
And I think that would even if he's
Well,
fucking...
it's funnier if you're hanging off his head, though.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I'm coming down from the ceiling.
Right. Wearing...
Orange,
Yeah.
because it's just a oil.
Yeah.
And then it's just one massive slap.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably get shot.
I think immediately.
Yeah.
Of course you get shot immediately.
But then he has to walk around with a dead dude.
Again, we've got to... I think
years.
there's not enough, and clearly this is a problem
Yeah.
with protesters, is they don't think long enough. They don't think enough about how long it takes for glue to dry.
Yeah.
You're encountering the same problem. Are you going to have enough contact with Putin's head before you're killed to stick your hand to his
Is
head?
there no way to get fast-acting glue?
I don't know.
I wonder if they... Well, this is a Mission Impossible style film, so we're definitely...
We'd get Simon Pegg in.
I'd have my lab guy.
Yeah, Simon Pegg.
And, I mean, also, I've got the face masks.
Yes, and you were Putin all along, and he was you. Okay, now I can fuck with it.
So Putin sticks his head... Putin's dressed as me and sticks his gluey hand to my head dressed as him.
Yeah. And then
That's a powerful protest.
that is a powerful process.
Imagine, that's one of those iconic photos of the 21st
What a
century.
dead Horatio
In a Putin outfit.
in a Putin outfit, yeah.
With Putin in a Horatio outfit
Yeah.
with his hand glued to my head.
It might even bring peace to the region. That kind of powerful imagery. I'd glue my hand to my own head.
That's a good protest. I would like that from a Just Stop Oil thing. Just like that.
Just Stop Oil and new crazy
Just
protest
stop
move.
it. It'd be great. Just I'm not going to stop until there's no more.
Just it's almost like
And
a
everyone's
minor
like,
protest.
all right.
Well, it's not really affecting us, is it? Just seeing a guy walking around in public with his hand on his head.
Just pouring orange powder on his head. I won't stop.
Yeah. Oh, it makes a point, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you have both of them like this. Yeah, I guess it does
Or just
make a point.
one. So you can go about your life, but you just got one hand glued there.
So if they've glued themselves to the table, what do they just stay there till they die? Technically,
Yeah, till they die, yeah. That was the plan.
because they're going to be dragged away by police. But if they're just left, are they not going to be like, I'm hungry?
It's all to disrupt the game.
Yeah.
And I would have hoped they ate before. In answer to both those ridiculous questions.
I don't know if they needed a piss beforehand as
Yeah,
well.
I knew I should
I should have done something.
Yeah, just asking for them to take it off. I really need a wee, guys. Yeah, because like if
you can't ask.
if they piss themselves, that kind of confuses the protest. If you saw someone glue their hand to a snooker table that you're watching,
Getting to become a dirty protest.
Just Stop Oil, and then there's like, is he
like,
winging?
I didn't go before.
This wasn't part of it. I just forgot to go before.
Because if I was the big bad wolf, if I was the government, if I absolutely hated the environment and loved oil,
yeah,
and I was trying to stop them, I would just like let them
die.
Not let them die, because obviously when they glued their hand to the motorway,
right,
you can't run them over because that looks bad on you.
Yeah,
but if they glued their hand to something,
a snooker table,
yeah, you can leave them.
No, you can't.
What? So they're now your child.
Look,
you now need
how
to.
Do you no, but I'm just trying to.
I'm trying to say.
What do you mean?
Legally and ethically and morally, from a PR perspective, which is this whole thing is.
No one's suggesting that the government now owns that person who stuck their hand to the table.
I'm saying if your protest is I'm going to stick my hand to this tree, or like this, whatever it is.
Well, maybe
you then it's you.
Yeah.
Your responsibility. You don't have to then feed and make sure that that person survives.
I think you're fundamentally misunderstanding the point of glue protests. They are to disrupt. So when you glue your hand together, they can't remove you.
All right. And what you do, this is me playing devil's advocate.
No, because
you go, we won't remove you. And everyone leaves quietly, orderly fashion.
Right.
Lights go out.
Yeah, funny, good to do. But you're like, look, if a bloke just goes up and glues himself to a tree in a park, then sure, that's fine. There's nothing really you need to do about it. If a guy's gluing himself to the snooker table at the World Championships,
yeah,
you need to get him off because there's.
What if you move venue?
Well, yeah, that is.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, it's not your responsibility if they starve to death, is it?
But so they've tried to do it with football goalposts in the Premier League. So imagine an Arsenal game and someone glues himself to the goalposts.
Yeah.
Your response is move venue.
No. Right. Carry the game on.
Yeah.
Finish the game.
Yeah.
Everyone files out. And just leave them
there.
They're still.
It would be fun to see them think for it to be flipped on them, and then they're stuck to it with no one seeing them whatsoever.
But it's just like, how long do they,
anticipate being glued to it for?
Yeah, and it's like,
how long does glue last?
I guess part of the protest, I guess, is to disrupt that small period.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, it's like, right, can you get me off now?
Yeah. Well, because in a way, they're expecting that the police will come and remove the glue.
Yeah. I do find it funny because the type
there might be a few protesters around the world still stuck to something.
Because the type of people who it's quite an interesting type of protester often, so they Just Stop Oil, because you have a couple of like, I don't know, hummus dads, for want of a better term, like allotment daddies,
allotment guys.
So they're kind of like old Islington looking fellas, and they're often really. So one of them, he'd glued his hand to a motorway, and he's just saying how sorry he is the whole time. I'm really sorry, and he's covered in like someone chucked some paint in his face.
Yeah,
and he's just like, someone's on top of a train, and everyone's booing, screaming, trying to get home, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And I find that's quite a funny.
Yeah, the apologetic protester.
That's quite a new aspect in protesting. I don't think that's happened in the history of protesting, because nearly always it's fuck you.
Yeah, because
it's very rarely, I'm so sorry, guys.
Because this is aimed at disrupting members of the public who are not, complicit in the oil industry.
Yeah.
So whereas, previous protests, a lot of the time you're trying to disrupt or demonstrate against a particular entity.
Systemic problem.
Systemic issues. Whereas this is like, we're going to stop all the trains or stop this traffic. So they're like, it's not your fault. We're sorry this is affecting you, but we got to do it because of the oil.
Mm.
Do you think we're ever going to stop oil?
Well, yeah, but I thought aren't we like nearly going to stop oil?
Well, I don't think so.
AI, ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's something that AI should sort out. If we type into AI, how do we stop oil?
Yeah, how do we stop oil? But we're going oil dependent in the next 100 years.
Independent.
Yeah. I don't like Just Stop Oil as a slogan as well. The just isn't gonna
just stop it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they could have been like, you've got to stop oil.
We must
stop oil.
Just stop it.
Just Stop Oil has that kind of like
just stop oil. Yeah. Do you think it makes the kind of message a bit more flippant?
Yeah. Well, it more has it. It's a bit more like cunty.
Yeah,
like,
it's smarmy.
You don't need to be cunty about it.
Yeah,
Like, obviously, we need to sort some stuff out, but you don't need to be a little cunt about it.
I suppose so. Yeah.
You know, that's what I'd say. But we're stopping oil anyway.
Well, I don't. I think it's probably to do
It's
with
going
the
to while.
speed.
It's going
the
to
speed of
yeah.
stopping.
Let's stop oil quicker.
Yeah.
But we got wind farms.
Yeah, you're not the best environmental correspondent that we could potentially go to.
But yeah, we can't do it forever.
What, oil?
Yeah. And what do we need oil for? Because we're going to run out of oil.
Sure.
But then we got no more oil.
Yeah.
Do we need oil? I'm the BBC environmental editor.
Yeah, we clearly do need oil. But like we need solutions
we can replace
to
it,
oil.
yeah.
But then we need to roll out those solutions on a global scale.
Just stop oil.
So do you think that's too simple?
Yeah, just stop. No, well, you can't make it long, can you?
What, can we get rid of oil, please?
Yeah, you can't. That's
Guys,
too long.
I think it's time that we
Yeah. Like, stop oil would be fine.
stop oil.
I think the just was like, all right, you're leaving a foot out.
Right, so you're thinking that the protesters are being too mean to...
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't really know where I stand on them, to be honest. I don't...
Their neck.
Oh.
That's an LBC joke.
Yeah, I don't really know where I stand on them. It's like...
Oil.
I'm all for environmental policies. I don't really know about oil enough.
Yeah, I don't really know enough. I don't really know
Oil's
what's...
not that sexy.
I'm kind of waiting for someone I respect to tell me what to think.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't really know...
I like that you said someone that you respect rather than someone who knows what they're talking about.
Because like the unions, I know that I rate that.
Yeah.
Good for you. But in the oil one, it's just a bit... I don't know. It's just a bit... It feels like it divides opinion more.
The oil. Well, it's because no one knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Exactly.
Clearly.
Because the unions, it's like, well, yeah, they want a very specific short-term... Not short-term, but specific thing.
Yeah.
And they're taking this away.
Better rights, better pay. Something you can get behind. Whereas kind of oil, you're like, what? Oil's it's intangible. Because even Extinction Rebellion, you can understand it a bit more because it's kind of a total approach to the environment.
Yeah.
Whereas, what do you know about oil?
Don't know much.
It's a big industry.
I'm kind of indifferent to
But
them.
that's like like petrol, isn't it? Oil.
But they haven't-
BP oil.
They haven't caused any problems with me, so that's why I'm not emotionally invested.
Do you think if you were stuck in traffic,
if they were on the wing of my plane,
then you'd be like, if they were on the wing of your plane, would you be like, we need to stop oil? Would you be like, fuck oil? Well, fuck these guys that hate oil.
I would out loud say we need to stop oil, and then under my breath say fuck these guys. You know,
Right, on the plane.
yeah.
Okay.
No one, even if you, like, what happens if you're an Extinction Rebellion guy and you're going to your dying nan's wedding?
Sure. Yeah.
She's getting married for the first time because she's terminal. All right, it's a huge.
So I'm an Extinction Rebellion guy.
Yeah.
And I go to my nan's wedding.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the funeral. Yeah.
Did I stutter?
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I was pretty.
How
clear.
long she got left?
She's got about 6 months to live.
Okay. When did she meet this guy?
3 months ago.
Is he trying to milk her for money?
No, it's she. She's been a virgin her whole life. She's never found a lover.
My nan.
Yeah.
Right.
You're an IVF baby. Your mum's an IVF baby.
My mum's an IVF baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she never had sex.
She's never had sex. Fine. Yep.
She never married anyone.
Weirdly, oddly, that's doable.
You don't have a granddad.
Yeah, what a crazy world.
You don't have a granddad.
I have no granddad because my
and
mum
she's
was...
a lovely woman, your
Right,
nan.
yeah.
Lovely. But she's never felt loved because she's felt unlovable. And even though everyone in her family, you guys included,
She's never had like a boyfriend.
never.
Well, she is unlovable then.
No!
How old is she? 85?
She's 98.
She's had 98 years and she's not been able to find anyone.
No.
What's wrong with her?
She's just one of those people who's like, she's sweet, but
it's
she's
not even-
anxious. She's anxious.
She's got anxiety.
Yeah.
That's what's so horrendous.
She's
about
shy.
her.
She's shy. She's cripplingly shy.
I think we have to go for cripplingly, not being able to go outdoors shy.
Yeah, but she's still got friends like sweet, but she can't.
Right.
And some people
But
get
you're
in that
not
way.
saying, you're not just saying that she's never found true love. You're saying she's never been able to have it. She's never had sex. She's never been
Until
had a boyfriend until who did she meet?
she met Derek at,
Of course.
and she lives in Spain in one of those communities. So
I'm-
she's not racist.
Oh, that's why I'm on the plane.
Yeah.
Right.
And she meets Derek, and they.
Is she
fall-
Spanish?
No,
Is Derek Spanish?
no.
They're both English.
Yeah.
How old's Derek?
Derek, virgin as well. He's 94. He's
Right,
a bit
and why is
younger.
Derek a virgin?
Similar reasons. Both
Right.
cripplingly shy.
Where did they meet?
They met. They actually met at a bowl screen in the Spanish. Like there's.
Didn't realise bowls was popular in
No,
Spain.
but in the English
Right,
parts.
Benidorm.
Like Benidorm.
Yeah.
They're in Benidorm, and so she met Derek there, and they had this unbelievably beautiful love story, which never happens in a later thing.
True.
And so they're like slow dancing with each other, and
Yeah.
they're kind of for the first time in their life, both of them experience love at such a late period. Then she gets her diagnosis that she's got. She's got.
Have they had sex at this point?
Well, yeah,
They've known what it is to be physical.
Yeah,
with
so
someone.
she's had that, and she was like, all I ever wanted since I was a little girl was to be married.
This is bleak as fuck. Right.
All
And that's
Derek wanted.
And that's the only thing she couldn't obtain for 95 years.
She's got
Because of her
she's got a
crippling
big
shyness.
she's got a big family because of
Yeah.
IVF. She's
Yeah.
got lots
Wait,
of
how
friends.
many kids does she have?
She has like 4 or 5.
She's got 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah, and they're all going to the wedding.
Right. All my
and-
uncles and aunties
Yeah,
are going
but
to the
you're
wedding.
her favourite.
Grandson.
Yeah, and you have a really close relationship with her. And then you're kind of going to use this wedding as
I've
like...
got a really close relationship with my nan who lives in Benidorm who has crippling anxiety that means she can't leave the house.
Not with her own grandchildren.
Right, do I still live in... Yeah,
You
but-
still live in... Yeah. You,
Okay, does she come back and visit often?
she's old now, but she used to.
How
You
did
used
we
to go
get so
out-
close?
Well, you used to... Well, she's only been out there for the last 9 or 10 years.
Right,
Like
so-
she was still there when you were growing up.
Okay.
She basically raised you because your mother's an alcoholic.
Yes, because she struggled with not having a father figure.
That's part of it.
The other?
I think, I think that's taken a lot of responsibility off her. And I
Yeah.
feel that's partly what kept the cycle going of your mum's alcoholism.
So you think she's just doing it because...
Well, it's more like she's like, I don't have a father figure. This is why I'm the way I am.
Right.
But the therapy that the
She
CBT
used it as
therapy
an
she's
excuse.
working through is like try and less think about that and try and focus that you can control your own life.
Right.
But your mother's a different story.
Yeah.
We're talking
Yeah.
about Wild.
She seems to be on a bad path
Yeah.
at the moment, which I don't want to get into.
No, she's better. She's doing
But at
better.
the moment, we park the issues with mum because Nan's dying.
Nan's dying.
Right.
And so she's having this wedding, which is
To Derek.
to Derek. Lovely man.
So 2 95-year-old virgins are getting married in Benidorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a wedding, but it's more important that it's the last time the family will all be together.
Yeah, because she united
Yeah.
all of her IVF children.
And everyone came from her. They didn't have another guy. Everyone
Just her.
Just her.
Who was what sperm did they use? Was it just a sperm bank?
sperm bank.
All different dads. Wasn't like a friend that she.
Do you know what? I genuinely don't know.
Did she not tell us?
I don't know enough.
Is
I'm
it
not
a
gonna lie.
bit that mum isn't really able to ask her about it? 'cause
I
a
think
sore
it's just
subject?
from her generation. It's a bit more
hush hush.
hush hush.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't,
IVF treatment.
also, I don't know the details. All right,
IVF
it's not
sperm.
my nan.
Which sperm it is more right. Yeah. No, I know. I know. I know it's not your. I know it's my nan, but it's nice to hear you doing a lovely précis of what's going on.
So
I'm on the
you're
plane.
sat on the runway, Ryanair, cheaper flights.
Am I with my family? Just because I feel like that's important.
You don't have a family.
Yes, we've just discussed my family.
Well, you got your mum and
Yeah,
stuff.
is she
She's
with
out
me?
there already.
I know I'm not. I know I don't have
She's out
kids.
there already.
I'm me, aren't I? in
Yeah,
this?
sort of. Yeah.
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 Well, everything seems accurate up until this point.
But you're an Extinction Rebellion guy.
Yeah.
Big environmentalist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're getting the flight.
Yeah.
You're going to fly on the Friday. Wedding's on the Saturday. And then someone from Just Stop Oil sticks his hand to
the wing.
wings.
But you implied that the pilot didn't notice, and now we're in the air.
No,
Right.
that's not happened.
Flight grounded.
Flight grounded. Flight cancelled.
Right.
They do it to all the flights. The flights are cancelled for 2 days.
Yeah.
You can't get to the wedding.
I
But you're
can't.
sat on the runway. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling frustrated. Look, if it's
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I'm feeling frustrated about the delay.
But you are an Extinction Rebellion guy. Remember that. You have to add that
I'm a
in.
Extinction Rebellion guy, so naturally, obviously, I sympathise with the cause.
Yeah.
I sympathise with the cause, and how big into Extinction Rebellion am I?
You've done some protests similar.
Some, or am I like one of? Am I?
You're not
do
the
I
craziest.
Help, am I on the group? Do I help organise?
You're not gluing yourself, but you're at all the protests.
I'm at all the protests.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm quite.
And you're getting
intricately
into
knitted the
into
fabric.
Facebook arguments with family members from the family about
Yeah. Do they get ugly and I say, well, you don't even know who your dad is?
No, you don't.
No, we never touch the sperm
We don't
issue.
touch that.
We don't touch the sperm issue. Okay, that's fair. We'll keep it PC. We'll keep it PC.
But there's a lot of you have a lot with your cousin Ian. You do have he's quite right wing, and you have a lot of debates about whether he's always complaining about because he's a lorry driver and his lorries get stopped by the people gluing themselves to the road.
But then I'll have to explain to him that's not Extinction Rebellion. That's Just Stop Oil.
What did Extinction Rebellion do?
They just did a protest.
They do some other
marches
stuff. Do they not do any stunt stuff?
I think they
do
really.
some gluing.
I don't think they do much.
Well,
gluing.
it's within you know.
They're obviously going to be doing some gluing.
You don't.
Gluing?
If you're a part of Extinction Rebellion, you don't hate Just Stop Oil, do you?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, I just want to make sure I know because if I'm part of Just Stop Oil and Just Stop Oil stop the plane, I'm going to be like, well,
yeah,
I would have heard about that.
Yeah, you probably should have been part of Just Stop Oil, but you're not. You're part of Extinction Rebellion.
Right.
With
fine.
close ties to Just Stop Oil, friends,
Okay.
and you politically support them.
So do I know the bloke that's glued to the plane?
No. Yeah, you do.
That changes everything.
Mutually. Not close.
No, but I've met him.
You've seen him.
Well, I'd knock on the window and be like,
No. You don't have sorry, let me correct that.
Yeah.
You saw him at some protest. You've seen him
Right,
about. He's
okay.
part of the community.
yeah.
But you don't know him very well.
So in
Do you know what happened? Is
Yeah.
someone was like, oh, this is my thing, and then you both went, hi. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the plane grounded and I can't get to Spain, or can I not just
Your-
jump on
for your
another plane?
No, you can't get to it.
So there's no chance I can see my
Yeah,
nan's
because there's
wedding.
so many protesters.
So your question to me is, how do I feel?
How do you feel?
I feel very upset.
Yeah.
Given how close me and my nan inexplicably are.
Yeah.
Given our geographical distance, age gap,
Yeah.
and many other things. I'm livid I can't go to the wedding because it was kind of the last time for me. I think you didn't mention it specifically, but
Yeah.
I think if you read between the lines, it's kind of one of my last chances to say goodbye to her properly.
Definitely.
You know, before she's...
Definitely. I think for everyone in the family, they
before
know
the
that.
illness
They know
starts
that.
winning.
They
And
know
it's,
that.
There's a touching moment where, you know, she's finally living her lifelong dream of being married, which is the only thing she ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, the other part of me is going, we do need to stop oil.
Yeah.
It's very important that we do stop oil.
Can I also throw one more thing in?
Yeah.
You found out, do you know who you're sat next to?
Who?
The wedding photographer
The wedding photographer.
for the wedding, coincidentally.
Interesting. So there's going to be no photos of the wedding either, which means I can't even experience it on a...
Well, you can't even savor that thing.
I can't even savor what?
Well, we can't savor this magical experience, which is Wilder's wedding, which...
No, but I can't savor it because I'm not even there.
You can't, but just
No, well,
the family can't
Yeah.
in general.
I wouldn't be too concerned because I'm sure we could find another photographer.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's
I
fair
don't
enough.
think that's crazy.
That's fair enough.
That's not going to be... The photographer isn't going to be my primary concern
Yeah,
at
that's
that
fair
point.
enough.
I'd also think it's a bit odd, like, how good is this wedding photographer that we're flying him from England to Benidorm?
Really good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If he's got the shots, he's got the shots.
he's really good.
Look, am I going to give up my lifelong dedication to environmental protests and environmental politics? No. No, I'm not. Because I understand, as someone who's quite high up or a consistent factor in Extinction Rebellion, the sacrifices have to be made for the greater good of the planet. Because in order for, you know, some of us are going to have to sacrifice these things to be able to mean that people can even have the chance to experience these kind of situations and lovely family moments in
You're
later
now
life.
having a wedding funeral,
You're
basically.
Your virgin nan having a wedding, having a 95-year-old wedding with Derek in Benidorm with all their IVF family. That is something worth fighting for, and we can only have that on a healthy planet.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the podcast.
Holy fuck! That was nonsense. Really
We've been boys going wild. Subscribe to the Patreon, and we'll see you next week.